I'm back. This time I'm back with some tea, and let me show you some snacks. So feel free to grab yours, and then we could talk about senior year, even if you're not a senior. Honestly, hi, by the way, I'm Nardos. I'm a senior at Notre Dame. This has been the hardest year at Notre Dame for me, because I'm telling you, it's a whole different ballgame. If I thought grades were stressful, if I thought friendships and parental relationships and health, everything was stressful before, no. Now it's reached a whole new level, because actually I don't want to make this a negative video. I just want to recognize the struggles of senior year and what has helped me kind of overcome, because now I only have 2 weeks left. They can only do so much to me in these 2 weeks, you know what I'm saying? So also, half of it isn't even people itself, so let's just get into it. What were the struggles? And I hope, girl, this helps you. I don't know why I always imagine my viewers or like people who watch this as girls, but I hope this helps you, because I wish I would have heard something like this to prepare me going in. So what were the struggles? Let's get into it. The number one pressure, I should say, was that everyone has a plan for your life. Little did I know. So you might think that I thought I was completely free. I was like, oh, I have a plan for me. Like, I'm probably gonna do this. Like, this is what I want. Girl, let me tell you something. Especially when you hit the second semester, everyone has a plan for your life that they want to inflict upon you. Whether it's your professors, your friends, your parents, everyone has a plan for your life. Isn't that shocking? It shocked me, I'm telling you. I was like, what? So people will unravel the plan that they have for your life. I was like, I'm busy. Like, I'm busy sleeping, eating, exercising, studying, meeting up with people, all trying to find jobs, all this kind of stuff. I hardly have have extra time to plan out another person's life, but I kid you not, these people have found the time in their life to plan your life. Mark my words. If that's not true, come back to me senior year. And if you're a senior, you can attest to this, give this a thumbs up, because I know it's true. So combating this pressure was the number one pressure that I faced. I'll say all the pressures that I faced, and then I'll say how I overcome them in the end, so that it's like an uphill, you know? We end on a positive note. So you're faced with this kind of question of like, do I conform or not? Do I follow my own desires? What even are my desires? That is a crazy thing. You would think that you're like, oh, I have my own plan. I don't need these people. Girl, let me tell you something. It's really hard to know even what you want. Isn't that madness? Like, you're like, wait, but I wanted this. No, it's so hard to know what you yourself want. It would be even easier to fight off these people and be like, nah fam, if you knew what you wanted. But since I'm pretty sure 99% of us don't really know, well, I know what I want, but not 100%, you know? What we want, it's even harder to fend off people. Okay, anyway. Number 2, the balance of time. Okay, let me tell you something. Notre Dame in itself is already hard. Am I wrong? Anyone? Takers? It's hard out here. So, it's a blessing. I'm grateful, but it's hard. And then imagine balancing school, graduation. Here's what graduation means. All the people that are flying in, where they're gonna stay, where you're gonna stay, what are you gonna do, every single thing, the tickets, all of that. I'm not even done, and it's 2 weeks left. So balancing all of that, balancing everyone's needs, balancing your own needs, getting the cap and gown, all this stuff, balancing the time to plan graduation. It's like you almost joined a new club, a very high commitment, high stakes club. Imagine that. My God. Okay, so the third thing in this list of balance is life after graduation planning. Where are you gonna live? Who are you gonna live with? How are you gonna eat? Will you find a job? Will you be an entrepreneur? What's happening with your life? Are you going to grad school? Everything also rests on this semester. So that was another pressure. And you do this, mind you, while you're a full-time student. So it's kind of stressful, I'm not gonna lie. The third thing is a fear of the unknown. So I wrote down, like, will I be stuck forever where I am? Okay, here's what I'm trying to say. you commit 4 years to college, and it's not easy, but it's also not hard. You know it's 4 years, you know you can't cop out. It's very like cutthroat, dry. But the thing about the next step is it feels like you don't know what you're committing to. Like, am I committing? If I move to Seattle, this is just a random example, I have no intentions, God forbid, of going to Seattle. Actually, you know what? I don't know why I said God forbid. If you're blessed, if you're in Seattle, good for you. I don't know. Anyway, you don't know how long you're committing to something. You don't know. So it's like, if I go to DC, will I be there forever? Like, how does moving work? What is happening? Like, to know the level of commitment you're making to something is very difficult. And that is, I would say, the third struggle, like the fear of the unknown. What is the level of commitment that I'm making? The fourth thing, family, friends, and relationships. What does the future hold? This one is also stressful. You might think you have your little tensions now or whatever, or like blessings now. Actually, God forbid, I'm trying to be really positive, but I'm just saying also the struggle. So it's kind of, it will end off positive, I promise. Okay, so who you're going to be close to, where are you going to live, how are you going to keep in contact with these people? All these things come to the forefront of your mind. Where you're going, will you make friends? How will that work? Will you join a church? What organization will you join? All these things come to mind, because now, whether you like it or not, you're stepping most likely into a new area where you won't have your friends and family readily available. And if you do, how do those dynamics work now that you're independent? This question comes to you as a senior. You might think, oh, that's so simple. I just let God work it out. Let me tell you something, honey. It is not that simple. Like, it comes to your mind. It shouldn't be that simple, though. Anyway, so number 5, at least this was a question I had. Will I be stuck working a 9 to 5? How will that be, and how will discipline work? So the thing about college is, in my 4 years here, I've never met a single person who hasn't skipped a class at least once. Like, whether you're sick, something, I don't know what's happened to you, you're having a bad day, you're fighting with someone, I don't know. Actually, I do know, but that's not my business to put out on YouTube. Anyway, so there's this thing in the back of your mind of like, how will working a 9 to 5 work? Because I'm just imagining, like, this is not my actual schedule. I nap from 2 to 3. How will that work within the times? And then jobs are whole 8 hours. I get home, I cook, I sleep. Like, how will this work with discipline? That was a question that I had. And low-key, like, do you want to be an entrepreneur? So that was a side question of that. Number 6, where is God in all of this? Honestly, this journey changed my perception of God so much, because I used to see God as like, Nardos, I'm going to plan every step of your walk. I'm not going to say he was hands off, but it's harder to hear something in this journey. I can't provide more explanation than that. It's just harder to hear from God. I don't know why. It's probably because we have our own desires that are like conflicting and like, all, I don't know. But it was harder to hear God than I thought. So it was like, that was the homie. Like, where is he? I'm still going to talk about how he comes into it a little bit later, but that was one of the struggles. The 7th struggle. This is minute, but it's really not too. If you're a senior, you understand what I mean, okay? I'm eating my chocolate chip. Okay. Your appearance for graduation. That sounds funny, right? But it's not. Let me tell you something. Little did I know, it's a Friday, Saturday, all week event. What are you gonna wear? How are you gonna wear it? How's your hair gonna be? How do you prepare? Will your fans and family be pleased? There will be so many photos. Are you comfortable in your body? There's so many questions. So many questions. Oh my god. Oh my god. Anyway, it's fine. But this comes up. You might think it's minute, but girl, you know you thought about it. Don't lie to me. Number 8, the costs to move, who to live with. Just the whole moving thing is in the back of your mind somewhere, like here, maybe. Anyway, it's there. I'm saying something. I heard this. Maybe I shouldn't put out her business like that, but you don't know her, so it's fine. I heard people say, I got a bonus to move. Girl, that's great. That's fantastic. But that's still at the back of your mind before you got that bonus, right? and who to live with. Okay, it's such a struggle being like, should I live alone because I like myself and I'm a peaceful person alone? Should I live with another person who's also peaceful? But then what if they bring somebody crazy to the house if they're not peaceful but they pretended to be? What if they themselves are crazy? By crazy, I just mean that they, I don't know, I don't know, I cannot even imagine, God forbid, like, that is a question. So, 9, what are my passions? And how will I do this on the side? So I don't know about y'all, but I think that all human beings have this innate passion in them, whether it's to share videos on YouTube, write books, preach a sermon, draw with your toes, whatever it is, you have that thing that makes you feel really fulfilled and happy to be alive, right? So that's a question that rests in the back of your mind. It's like, what will I do with my passion? Because in college, I'm not going to say it's easier, but if you're really disciplined, it's easier to make time for your passions. You can just tell your friends, let's meet at the dining room. That's not a passion, but you know, there's more time and flexibility to really be who you are. Whereas in the real world, I haven't been there yet, but I just assume that like 8 to 5 thing, like when will I have time to do my passions? Because I remember I was working in South Africa for a little bit. I was studying, working. It's a complicated thing. But anyway, it was like a 2-month thing. And I kid you not, we would wake up. First of all, we would sleep early to wake up early the next day. We would go to work all day, cook, be tired, sleep. Where's the passion? I think one book that's really helped me is by Dr. Miles Monroe. I will link it down below. The title is like something about purpose and fulfillment. I'm telling you, that book changed my life. I want to start doing actually book reviews in this channel because I love books. But he basically talks about the idea of like what you're created to do. And it really motivated me, and I think it's a part of the reason why I started this channel. So I recommend that book if you're wanting to talk about your purpose. And it's a very simple book. He doesn't try to enforce himself upon you, so highly recommend. Anyway, so the last one is, who will I be? Like overall, what kind of person will I be now that I'm not under the microscope of Notre Dame, or somebody constantly evaluating me, you know? Or your friends and family who've always known you, who've kind of created an identity for you. Who will I be? That's another question. Anyway, so what have I come to realize? Okay, this is gonna sound super random, but I'm telling you, this verse got me through this year. Thank you, Jesus, for giving me this verse. I'm gonna put it down here, but it's basically Hagar. You know, the whole mess with Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar. Like, she got pregnant. Abraham's wife kicked her out. It's a mess. And then she was in the desert with her poor baby, and she like didn't want to see him die, so she put him like away, and she walked away. And then God told her, like, he's not gonna die, like, chill out. His nations are gonna be after him, pick him up. There was water. It was this whole miracle story. But the verse that got me was, she says, I've seen the God who sees me. I have seen the God who sees me. I'm telling you, that verse held me through senior year. It snatched me out of senior year, because all this crazy stuff will happen senior year. I hope yours is so peaceful, but I'm telling you, most likely people be struggling out here in senior year. Do you know that God sees you? I'm telling you, this took off so much pressure from me. I'm like, Lord, you see it, you see it, you see it, you see it. Like, something crazy will happen to me, and I'll be like, Lord, you saw that. Yeah, you did. There's something so comforting about someone seeing. Like, think about that. Like, God sees. Like, he's not out here chilling, like not paying attention to you. He sees your struggle. He sees what you're going through, and he sees a way out for you. I really like that verse that says, I have plans to prosper you and to give you a hope and a good future. That's God's desire for you. He's not out here trying to play like Monopoly or whatever it is with you. Like, he sees you, and he has a good plan for you to prosper. So that really got me through senior year. And then the third thing was, Is God enough even if the life I plant doesn't come right away? This was a big question for me because I'm gonna admit, like, I always tied God to my ideal life, but is he enough if that ideal life doesn't come to pass right away? That's a big question, but I've come to realize, like, I can't say I'm at the end of this journey by any means, but I think he's enough. Yeah, so that's just a question that you can answer. And I think what's so cool about going through this question is it's an opportunity to seek him more. So now when I have a need, like, I go pray, I read my Bible. Like, one thing I started to do is read a chapter a day and, like, really read it to know God's character. Right now I'm in John, if you want to do it with me. So I highly recommend, and, like, making time in the morning to pray, just finding ways to really connect with him. And a phrase I would always say when something gets too much on me is, like, God, I surrender this to you. Like, I surrender this to you. I want your will above mine. I surrender this to you. And literally your stress levels will go from a 10 to a 5 to a 2, and then you even forget about it. And then it comes again. You have to do it again. But that's something really cool that I've noticed. The third thing, planning is so important. So planning is so important. So something new I've started doing senior year is reading books about planning. So I'm in the middle of a book called I Want to Make You Rich, and it's basically financial planning after you graduate. You can really use it at any time, but it's helped me have such peace of mind to know what to do with money. Highly recommend. I'll link it down below. And even reading, I told you, the book about purpose by Dr. Miles Monroe. Having that plan of, like, here's why I'm created, here's why I'm alive. Very helpful. Whatever planning looks like for you, please, like, take the step to get there. Another thing I started doing, please don't judge me yet, okay? I'm not fully there, but going to the gym. I just made it a routine. It's only been 3 weeks, but, like, to go every day before class. Just go. And if I don't make it before class, after class. Just making health and planning, like, to have a healthy body going into the world, you know? And even without going into the world, just, you deserve to be healthy, girl. Yes, I still snack once in a while, okay? But generally, trying to make my health, you know, a priority. So the fifth thing is money matters, because money translates to time. So I stopped using money recklessly. Like, I started to save. The sixth thing I said, it's a chance to see God. Because when I can't do something this year, it's always been a chance to say, like, God, because I can't now, you're the only one who can. And I like that, like, dependency. Sometimes I don't like it, but it's just brought me closer to God. So the seventh thing and the last thing, honestly, this is a blessing, and I'm still on the journey, so I'm not in the end, but a detachment from people's approval. At this point, like, you've probably made decisions that not everyone is probably comfortable with, and you will continue to make them. It's okay. Honestly, it's okay. I really liked the definition of purpose, success that Dr. Miles Monroe gave. He said that success is measured by what you were created to do, and to the extent that you did that thing. It's not measured by another person's perception of you, because they didn't create you. So if I'm out here like, oh, you should be a shoemaker, and if you're not a shoemaker, then you didn't succeed. I didn't create you. Who cares about that? I know it's more complicated than that, but it's really helped me to think, like, success is not measured by this materialistic stuff. It's measured by, I was created for a purpose, and am I doing that purpose to the best that I can? So see it as, honestly, one of the blessings that this season has given me is a detachment from people's approval. I know God will continue to show me that, but it's just a blessing. And yeah, so if you're a senior, I want to know, like, what has been hard for you, and how have you kind of overcome it? What mindsets have you instilled to overcome it? Yeah, thank you for watching my video, and I hope to see you guys soon. Bye bye. Have a good week.